start, he may come in.
Yeah. I would like to call to order the regularly scheduled board meeting of the Parish Union School District Number 95 Board of Education for Monday, February the 2nd. Let the record show that all members are present except for members Bailey, Idle, and Sanchez. The voting sequence for this meeting is as follows: Tuttle, Calvert, Isaac, and Davis. Audience to visitors. Would anybody in the audience like to address the board this evening? Yes.
Yes, I'm Chris Blossom. I'm the sixth grade science teacher at Mayo, and we are starting our engineering project that goes along with the new Generation Science Standards. And we'd like for you guys to feel free to come by and watch the kids. We did this last year for the first time, and I was totally amazed at what the kids were able to do. And the job of the teacher is to guide them. To ask questions, where to let them problem solve, and they did a fantastic job. So there's an agenda of what the days we're going to be doing things. They talk to a musher and get the information from a musher as to what their sled is to be able to do, and then they research and build their sled. And this year they're going to be able to test them. They've got some polymers, and they're going to make snow, and they're going to be able to test them. Because that was one area I didn't feel like we had quite enough last year. So, but I'd like to invite, anytime, the times are down there, and I'd love for you to see what these kids are doing. It's really neat.
Thank you very much. Anyone else like to address the board? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. In your packet, you have minutes from the January 5th meeting, a list of bills, and the December treasurer's report. Does anyone have any questions this evening on the consent agenda? If not, I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Tuttle?
Yes.
Calvert?
Yes.
Isaac?
Yes.
Davis is yes. Secretary's report. Since Mr. Bailey's not here, I'll read a card that we received. It says, "Dear friends, thank you for the beautiful planter you sent at the time of my dad's passing. It's wonderful to work with such caring people. Sincerely, Debbie Dayton." Superintendent's agenda?
The first item on the agenda is under employments, and I'm just going to make a brief comment. This evening I had asked the new prospective board members to come in, not existing board members that are running, because most of what I shared with them you're full aware of. Just talking about some of the state aid reductions we've had and some of the financial information cuts that we've made in the past, and how we're trying to stay afloat with reductions in state payments and all. But one of the things that I didn't get to is how we've also brought back people to work part-time for us, use their expertise from our curriculum to some special ed positions, to psychologist positions, has also helped us to stay afloat, and as well as meet our state and federal guidelines and requirements. So the first item on the agenda tonight has to do with employments. The first employment, however, it would be, I have a recommendation from both Elisa Gregg and Ryan Hansen, who work as psychologists for us, to employ Brittany Cargus, who has served as an intern for us for this year. So now Elisa has been basically her supervisor, who has many years of experience, but they feel that Brittany is doing quite well. I've talked with the building administrators, and they are in agreement. So the first item on the agenda would be to approve the appointment of Brittany Cargus to serve as a psychologist for District 95 for the 15-16 school year.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, Tuttle?
Yes.
Calvert?
Yes.
Isaac?
Yes.
Davis is yes.
Okay, the next are 3 contract renewals, and I can separate them or I can do them together, and it's entirely up to you. I don't care, I'll review them.
I prefer we do them all together.
Okay.
Unless anyone has
Okay, unless anyone has an issue with it. First would be, I'm Carol Jones, who has worked with the district as curriculum coordinator for us on a 100-day basis for the past, I don't know how many years now? 2 or 3?
Well,
4. See how time flies.
it does.
And you have recommendations from all the principals, or some talking points of what Carol does for the year, fully aware of that as well. Cheryl Redmond, who has served as our EDBD itinerant, she's also our physical restraint trainer who has been trained in the district. And Elisa Grigg to bring back for just 100 days as psychologist. So at this time, I would ask that the board approve the 100-day contracts for Carol Jones, Cheryl Redmond, and Elisa Grigg.
So moved.
Any discussion? If not, Tuttle,
Yes.
Calvert,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Davis is yes.
And I might add that since we hire our own school psychologists and social workers, we do recoup the federal dollars back from that. We used to go through our cooperative. That money was then filtered through the co-op, which then we got a percentage of, which after it was filtered through all their programs, we received over $300,000 back last year because we hire all of our own staff instead. So that comes to us federally. So that, just to explain that even a little bit more. The facility request, since I put all those votes together. Facility requests, we had 2 facility requests for Memorial School. Jessica Blair is requesting to use Memorial once again, use their gym and cafeteria for May Faith practice from February to April. And the Memorial PFO has requested the cafeteria on April 14th for a basket bingo fundraiser. As the board approved both of those requests and waive any fees that are attached.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, Tuttle,
Yes.
Calvert,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Davis is yes.
I'll let when we get to report of committees, I'll let some of the board, if they want to say anything, the board members about our parent-teacher advisory and behavior intervention committee that we held. Preschool, kindergarten screening. Preschool screening is the week of, it'd be March 16th, the week of March 16th, and we also give our birth to 3. March 23rd week is for kindergarten screening, where we also register students at that time. Let's see, Wentz, you have some information from Wentz School and probably from Mayo in your packet. And that's the end of my agenda. We can talk just briefly about the committee. And there's a gentleman here, but I don't know if he was addressing the board. Is he here to?
Would you like to address the board?
I think it's fine after Liberate me, so.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
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 So basically, you can just go to report of committees, and I didn't want to.
Okay. Well, next is the report of committee.
And we did hold a joint committee. We held a district-wide this time for our behavior intervention as well as our parent-teacher advisory. We felt that it might be good to do it as a district. We've traditionally done it by building. And the committee members are listed there for you and board members that were there. I thought, and the principals felt it was very productive. We talked special ed issues and our programs and our incentives. We also talked things that are going on in the regular building as far as what's working, what parents felt was working. And I don't know, Tom, if you've got...
I thought it was excellent, especially in the fact that we had so many members of the community there, not just staff.
Right.
I thought it was very good communication.
Yeah, we're going to follow up on a few things that were brought up, and some things that parents really liked. They might even be little tokens and the little things that go in the book bag. What were those? The backpack beads. Yeah, you like backpack beads. Yes, and some of it at the older levels, that's why we thought it was very good to pull these committees together, because these are our board committees, and because they said, well, that would probably work with this age student too. So we kind of hit on some things that we're going to follow up with and get back to the parents on as well. So it went very well. I do want to set up, we have few of our other committees that don't have to meet on a regular basis. You aren't required to have, such as transportation and those committees, but I do want to pull together, Tom, I think you're on the transportation committee, and maybe Beetle. I want to pull one together. I'm going to meet with Michelle Hall next week, and then after that I want to pull the committee together because we're going to talk about routes for next year for the high school. So it's time to start thinking about how we're going to get that word out, how we're going to know what numbers of students may be riding, not accessing, and and Dave's going to be involved in that meeting. We may need a survey sent out or something. We may need pickup points, so we'll kind of get some things in order and then call the board committee together and we can discuss that prior to the next board meeting. Okay, that's, unless anybody else did you want to say anything?
No, it was a good meeting. It was nice to see all the different members of the community involved. We have kids in the school system, and
I think it's nice to see all the levels, because we've ordinarily, you go to Mayo's and then to Memorials, and this way by bringing the whole group together. I thought it was very positive. Jamie Littleton happens to be a parent, as well as, of course, the police chief, and we talked about, it was brought up at the meeting, don't you think there's more discipline problems now than there ever was? And Jamie said, actually, no. He had seen a reduction of probably 90% of the calls he would receive at Mayo School over the last year or so, which is a compliment to the administration and to our PBIS, our behavioral programs that are working. Do we still have 2-3% and have behavior? Yes, we do. And do we write extensive plans for some students if there's a need? Yes, absolutely. But the overall behavior program we have for all students seems to be working. Students are talking at the beginning of the year. He has a boot camp, and all the buildings hold things where students are taught, and Cindy knows this as well, how we walk to the bathroom, how we behave in the lunchroom. We just always assume, well, they're supposed to come and know that. Well, we have expectations, and the students need to know those expectations, and they get rewards, and they do have different things that they earn for good behavior. So it's obviously working, and we'll continue to work on it. So that's all.
Any other committee reports this evening? If not, public hearings and petitions, unfinished business, matters for follow-up, any new business, right to revert to prior order of business. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
I just want to invite you all to the 13th, February 13th at Evelyn Gym. We think we're going to have a full house. We have people coming from all over the country. Otho Tucker's flying in. John Bunnell, who played in 1954, will be here. He was an MVP in the 1950s. Gene Smithson will be here, who is an MVP and All-Stater and everything. So certainly would love to see all you guys there. After the game, there's going to be a reception at the country club, at Eagle Ridge, and Tony has already told us we can go into the dining room because Rick Gosling's concerned that they're just not going to be able to tell enough stories.
Oh, maybe they'll get together and tell them. That'll be nice.
Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
second.
Tuttle?
Yes.
Calvert?
Yes.
Isom?
Yes.
Davis is yes. The meeting is adjourned.